everyone. My name is Brittany Parrish. I am a biology professor, a researcher. I work a lot with AI task force, different curriculum teams at a college down in Houston, and I also do private academic consulting and professional development. So I work a lot with putting on professional development, particularly in AI, with the college. So today we are going to go over how to optimize your productivity with AI. I'm also our college. We have this special program where we have a lot of where we mentor all of our students. And so when I'm speaking to students, oftentimes one of the main questions that they have or things that they need work with is time management and of course financial literacy and digital literacy. So these are some of the things that everyone seems to need assistance with. Okay, so I'm going to get my phone because I believe I'm supposed to control this through my phone.
Brittany, what's the name of your college?
Lone Star?
Okay.
Yes. It's in Houston. Okay. All right, so presentation. All right, so yes. So again, welcome to this transformative workshop designed to help you harness the potential of artificial intelligence to revolutionize your productivity. Throughout our session, you'll discover how free AI tools can be seamlessly integrated into your daily workflows to save time, spark creativity, and achieve more with less effort. So whether you're looking to streamline professional tasks or to optimize personal projects, the practical strategies we'll explore today will equip you with actionable techniques for immediate implementation. So let's embark on this journey to amplify your productivity through intelligent application of AI. Let's see. Oh, I did it. I'm sorry. All right, so I put together this acronym when I was working with students to help them understand how to be more productive, how to mitigate procrastination, and how to basically just get their work done. And so the POWER framework, it's designed to help transform your productivity. So what we first want to do and the things that we're going to go over is we're going to learn how to prioritize, organize, work, experience, and reward. So we're going to identify high impact tasks by cutting distractions. We're going to use AI tools to effortlessly track and manage tasks in our organization attempts. And we're also going to actually do the work. That's the most important part of productivity is work. And we're going to employ AI generated strategies to combat procrastination and optimize productivity. And then you're going to actually experience and learn in a dynamic way from this framework. You're going to analyze your patterns and results for continuous improvement, and you can continuously like plug those into AI. Which of course will optimize the algorithms specifically to you. And then we want to also build in a sustainable productivity habits through positive reinforcement because research shows that our brains and we like rewards. So the goals and the outcomes, of course, we've discussed. So I'm going to go through this really quickly. Is just to learn how to enhance our workflow, personalize AI, and to get some measurable results. So we're going to explore, experiment, integrate, and implement. So let's see, hands-on application. Okay, so I am a biology professor. I consider myself a STEMmy. Science, technology, engineering, math is all my jam. And so I always have to put in a shameless plug for biology. In everything that I do, I have to provide a biology lesson. So we're gonna go over lots of science terms, biology, because biology is the study of life and it is literally applicable to everything. So enroll in biology if you guys aren't done with college. So So we're going to talk about personal power, and I'm going to liken our personal power to, for example, electrical power and mechanical power. I am a firm believer, as above, so below. Things that you will see at the atomic and molecular level, you'll see at the organismal and the ecological level as well. So we're, of course, our ecological and our biosphere, these systems are perfectly designed, especially they're designed to eliminate waste and to be as efficient as possible. So we're gonna learn, that's why I like to implement biology into things, because it shows, um, it just kind of presents some things that we can learn from effective systems that have been proven. And then we're also going to talk about time management and energy management. So let's get into it. Um, some energy concepts, as I spoke about. So when it comes to understanding different energy types that translate to productivity, you have to know the difference between potential energy and kinetic energy. And then also, want to talk about chemical energy as well. So potential energy is the amount of energy that is stored up, and when you're talking about physics. So you think about, for example, like a ball at the top of a hill, that's going to be potential. The naturally, a ball at the top of a hill has the potential to like roll down, and that movement, is a lot of is the energy, the work that is being done. So when the ball actually rolls down the hill, that is the work being done. That's kinetic energy. So when you're thinking about the potential that you have in being productive, a lot of us have potential energy, and we have problems translating it to kinetic energy. Actually, like, we'll plan and we'll get, and we know what we need to do, but how do you actually get those things done? So we want to be active. I really love, for example, like Nike, just do it. I at one point literally just bought a whole bunch of like Nike stuff, like little things like that, will help keep your mind on the goal, like little slogans that remind you to stay active and to get the job done when you have a lot of tasks. So when it comes to mastering your personal power, there's an art to purposeful productivity. So we're going to examine different like self-discipline techniques, because that really is a lot of what is behind productivity, is self-discipline, self-management, things like that. There is a book that was written by Cal Newport that's called Deep Work, and it is extremely well known regarding transforming your productivity. So, in the groundbreaking concept of deep work, Cal Newport represents the ability to focus intensely on cognitively demanding tasks without distraction. And this approach allows professionals to produce higher quality work in less time by leveraging periods of concentrated effort. So with deep work, you want to schedule, time to do the deep work that are completely off limits to other people. One thing that I've noticed in a lot of my mentorship and academic advising throughout the years, for example, I used to be in college admissions as well, and also just be like an academic advisor. And so when I would speak to students who weren't being successful or doing well in their classes, or even when I was in admissions and I was recruiting students, and a lot of students had the desire, the potential energy to go, but it was the kinetic energy. They weren't enrolling in classes or completing assignments. So when I would kind of sit down and personally mentor them and ask them what was keeping them from accomplishing their goals, a lot of times it was other very pressing and important things that they valued. Common even to this day is, oh, my nephew has a soccer game. Whatever the case, right? So, not to say that these things are not important, but just like you have blocked off a time that nobody can touch for your nephew's soccer game, you absolutely have to block off a time that no one can touch, no one can interrupt, they can't talk to you, for deep work. And you typically want to do that every day, at least an hour and a half, 3 hours, depending if or more, depending on what you need to get done. So the most important thing is also you want to eliminate distractions. You want to build this as a habit, and the goal is that you're going to reap the rewards. I certainly have by practicing this in my life. I will just kind of like warn people, like sometimes it can feel selfish. It can feel, like you're not showing up for your group. But I have found that when you show up best for yourself, of course, we know is when you can best show up for your group. And the people who like really understand whatever your specific goals are going to support you. So, a lot of that has just to do with communication. So, we want to look at some strategic methods to maximize productivity. Um, so there are effective productivity systems that provide structure for prioritizing tasks and maintaining focus. For example, we've all heard of SMART goals: specific, measurable, actionable, and or yeah, achievable. Sorry, relevant and time bound, timely. And so any goal that we have, we want to like be as specific as possible. Say, for example, if your goal is, rather than saying like my goal is to lose weight, you might want to say my goal is to lose 15 pounds or whatever, specifically. So you can actually measure it, right? You want to measure your goals, and achieve them, and make sure they're relevant, and time is really what's important. That's what we're talking about, is how to be time bound. But the goals means, the SMART goals also has to do with timely. Like, is your goal timely for example, um, is it appropriate for the context? Um, so time management techniques like the Pomodoro method. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about these. It's 25-minute focus periods with 5-minute breaks. You want to do time blocking. I'm really gonna focus a lot on time blocking because that's what I personally use. And I use AI to help me with that as well. Scheduling, very task specific periods, which we've spoken about. So, um, again, one of the things that is really important when it comes to being productive is overcoming procrastination. So we want to have practical strategies for action, which we're going to talk about. Again, that's going to be the time blocking, the 5-minute rule, where you commit to working on a task for 5 minutes. If are like, because everyone's different. So maybe 90 minutes or 3 hours is not doable for you. It's better to do something rather than nothing. So even if it's just 5 minutes, doing the 5-minute rule, just work on it for 5 minutes. And a lot of times you'll go past that 5 minutes, kind of like exercising. And so the other thing is, like with procrastination, is there's another like 5-second rule where you count backwards, from five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And at 1, you have to jump up and do it, like, period, like a rocket ship. So another thing that I really want to talk about is energy-based scheduling. You want to match your most demanding tasks to your peak energy periods, scheduling less intensive work for times when your natural focus is lower. So if I'm reading slow, I'm sorry, I have really bad vision. I promise I'm fully literate. But so what I mean by that, okay, I don't know if I'm an anomaly, but I am me. And I've had to learn how to work with me to make myself the most productive. And unfortunately for me, there's this theory out there that I don't agree with, that the early bird gets the worm, but I know it's true, okay? I am not a morning person, okay? I like to wake up without an alarm clock naturally, okay? I feel very abused by the alarm clock the first 18 years of my life. And for me, naturally, is about 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? Sometimes 7, no later than 10. And I like to have a slow morning. I like to have my tea, and I like to read the news. And then I like to get to work hardcore for literally 8 to 16 hours at a time, nonstop, no breaks, no distractions. That's how I work. So I'm often up working until 4 o'clock in the morning, and I thrive at that time because there's no distractions. Everybody else is asleep. So I have found a way to schedule my life to for energy-based scheduling. Okay, I'm not going to show up when I'm not my best. That is a disservice to me and to you. So I'm not sure if everybody can do that, but wherever you can, I would highly recommend whenever you have your most energy, whether it's at 8 o'clock in the morning or at 3 p.m., that's when you want to do your hardest task. And I would look for careers that help to support that. So I would not be, for example, I'm in education. It doesn't make sense for, I used to work K through 12, but K through 12 needs to meet at 7 a.m., and I don't. So I moved to college where I can schedule my classes at 1 p.m. and be most productive, okay? So, Chat GPT is going to be your assistant. It can help you, not just Chat GPT, but AI in general. There's Claude, there's Gemini, and we'll talk about lots of different ones. But it will help you with brainstorming, writing assistance, problem solving, including productivity, procrastination, and things like that. So, um, there's Google Gemini. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I want you guys to have time for the workshop and for us to wrap up. And there's a lot of more things that I want to go over. But there's different apps that are going to be best suited for certain tasks. So, for example, Google Gemini is really good for research and analysis because in content summarization. Then you have, sorry. Okay. So then, okay. You have Notion AI, which is really good for time blocking, smart organization. So, for example, like with my POWER acronym, I would maybe, for example, use Google Gemini for prioritization and then use Notion AI to organize what I've prioritized, right? So there's different tools that are AI tools that are going to be helpful with organizing your life. So Notion AI is really great for task management, project planning, content creation, and things like that. Rescue time is for focus enhancement. If you have lots of different distractions, it tracks how you spend your day, identifies productivity patterns and distractions, and provides insights. Timely is another automated time management system that provides AI powered insights and automatic tracking. And when you're through all of these, you're going to have to craft effective AI prompts that are unique to your situation. So you want to first identify your specific challenge because, of course, we're all going to be different. Um, Determine the specific productivity issues you need to solve. One way that you can very easily do that is, what do people complain about the most about you, or why have you ever been fired, right? When you needed to get an assignment in, what reason did you email to your teacher of why you couldn't get it in on time and why you need an extension? So look at your patterns of your reasons that may be excuses and help AI kind of differentiate between the two and align your value system. So you want to choose the right AI tool and you want to craft very specific prompts. So again, AI is going to help you prioritize, say, for example, with Google Gemini or ChatGPT. It's going to find ways that you want to ask it to, type in your important projects and your routine and important activities, and then very critical tasks that have to get done that have a deadline. And then you want to even put in the time wasters. For example, I'm sorry, Netflix. Okay, well, I'm not going to say Netflix because I learned a lot from Netflix, but you understand what I'm saying, social media or whatever. Um, okay, sorry, I just have to keep logging in. Okay. So, organization with AI tools, again, you're going to use AI power to prioritize, organize, work, experience, and reward yourself. So you can do this with task management. There's different calendar optimization apps, of course, document organization, and workflow automation. Workflow automation, especially if you're like an entrepreneur, if you're a business leader, or if you just, or not even, I mean, anyone really, any work, just going through emails, or will really help with you with any type of repetitive task, because a lot of times those repetitive tasks, things that you're doing over and over again, they, even if it takes like a minute, they're repetitive, that it adds up, and so that can help you with time. Every 30 minutes really does help. So again, you have time blocking, the Pomodoro technique, and task batching. When you put in your AI prompts, you want to, of course, like, this is things that I've done because I don't naturally build calendars. I mean, not, or yeah, agendas like this for myself. As far as like, I'm gonna eat breakfast at this time. Like, so if that is something that you think may help you, I would definitely try it. Just try it for a week, and see what adds more time back into your schedule. So you can use ChatGPT to build schedules for you, custom schedules every week. Um, and of course, don't forget to include a reward-based motivation system, things that are going to excite you. Um, Always make sure that you're aligning your values with your actions. That helps to prevent burnout, and also helps to give you a little natural boost of energy if you're passionate about the things that you're working on, or if you find a connection to it, that resonates with you or resonates with your values. So that's just built in productivity protection. So, again, you want to be very strategic about your time blocking. For example, understand, like, or think about when you have the highest energy, when it's rising, when it's medium, and do low risk tasks that, can wait when your energy is lower. You want to make sure that you eliminate your distractions. 52% is the average improvement when eliminating notification interruptions. So that's one thing is, I definitely have done that. Cut off your notifications. That definitely helps because they were designed literally to catch your attention and make you click on them, and then it takes you down a rabbit hole. So you want to refocus your time. 23 minutes is the average time that's needed to regain focus after a distraction, which is so important to share with your family. Like, I literally had this discussion last night with my fiance when he wanted to, go out and do something social. And I'm like, no, I have work in the morning. And so, even if we just go out for, say, even if I just like go for 30 minutes, I can't just go for 30 minutes and then come back and then get back on my work. It's like I'm going to be gone for 2 hours because it's 30, So you have to calculate not only the travel time, the time that you're going to spend, but also the time it's going to take for you to refocus once you get back home. That is very important when it comes to managing your time, is considering all the different factors. And then we already spoke about the deep work. So, you want to build sustainable habits. And so you're going to use prompts like create a habit building framework to strengthen my consistency and focus. Sorry about that. And then you want to track your progress with AI tools to provide accountability. Make sure you break down long-term goals with vision setting. Vision boards are often helpful. I take pictures in my phone or create vision boards with Canva and then just like put them in my favorites category in my phone, or a screensaver or saver, like something like that. Create milestones for yourself and actionable plans. Now, let's get to the work of it all, putting AI power to work and the practical strategies for production. So for the workshop, you're going to need your devices, internet connection, and then You should have like some scenarios. And so the objective of the workshop is for us to first learn how to prioritize or sharpen our skills, because we already know how to do these things, but just sharpen our skills on how to prioritize and focus on what really matters when we have goals, or how to organize and structure tasks and information. Getting the work done is the most important part. Optimizing execution strategies and the experience, analyzing the productivity patterns. Every single day is new data. How did you do today, and how are we going to improve tomorrow? And then also reward. You want to create sustainable motivation systems that are applicable every single day. So, even regardless of how you feel that you did today, find a way to reward yourself appropriately for the progress that you have made. You don't want to give yourself the big reward and you didn't finish the task. The little small rewards help. Um, oh no. Hold on, I think. Let me get back into Canva. Let me go back to the presentation controls. Okay. So, step one, you're going to identify your challenge, and this is kind of, what you see on your handout here. You want to identify your personal challenges. Everybody has different challenges. Your goals could be maybe about healthy living. It could be about getting more rest. It could be about being a more interactive parent during homework time, whatever the case. Just identify your challenge. Name your struggles. Be honest with yourself. This is a judgment-free zone. Okay, we're all working on it together. You want to identify your patterns, and you want to measure your impact. So you're going to use AI to generate solutions. Choose a relevant prompt. Select from the Power Framework prompts based on your challenge. You're going to input it into an AI tool. ChatGPT is free for everybody. So you can just, I should have put a QR code next time. See, that's for how I can improve next time. So QR code. But ChatGPT, and then we are going to just kind of like review some suggestions, because one thing about AI, when I do professional development over using AI, you want to do it ethically, and AI does wonky things. For example, it's called hallucinations, where if it doesn't have the accurate information, it will just make something up. That may not actually be factual. And then also, just a lot of times when you're applying it to yourself, it may not fully apply. So a lot of times when I use AI for productivity or anything in my life, there's just tweaks that I have to make. And so afterwards, I would like to talk about some of those tweaks, because oftentimes in the tweaks that you have to make, or sometimes the suggestions that AI gives to you with the follow-up questions, there is so much information in the follow-up questions, the AI prompts, and in the tweaks that we have to make. So we can just have some discussion about, was it, when we put in the prompts for our individual issues, was the feedback or the result that AI gave you, did it seem practical? Did it seem helpful? What did you like? What did you not like? So we can kind of learn from one another. Like, okay, well, we heard 3 people say when they put in a specialized diet, one for pregnancy, one for diabetes prevention. That's another thing. First of all, always, check these things with a subject matter expert. But for example, like, there's a lot of heart disease in my family. There's a lot of diabetes in my family and things like that. So using AI to find like heart healthy diets specific to me and my problems within my family, or whatever the case. So everyone is going to come up with something just a little bit different, and I just think it'll be a really interesting conversation, not only to, that we can learn from the differences. So Then you're going to, create your action plan, choose one strategy that makes sense for you that you found helpful. Select a single AI suggestion you can implement immediately, make a commitment, share, and discuss. And so then when we come back, I will pick up right there and we'll close out. Okay?
Can I ask a question before
Yes,
we
of
break?
course.
I have two questions. One
Yes.
is more tactical and the second is strategic. On the tactical, you mentioned Notion and the AI piece. Is the AI piece, like, have they introduced a chatbot that is like Notion, or is it just an AI integration that's laid into their existing product?
Yes, it's AI integration
Okay.
that's laid into an system.
And then the second question I had, which I wrote it down, so was on the point that you made earlier on how things like biology lends itself to ecological scopes and then
Mm-hmm.
expanding collapse into broader themes. Do you see that parallel with AI,
Oh,
where the underlying science can also be distilled down into fundamental systems that then scale up into more broader societal or ecological impact?
absolutely. So that's actually what brought me into AI. Because I was not in tech, I wasn't a computer science major. So I was studying because I'm doing research on, as an educator, technology use inside of the classroom. And so basically, as a biology, when I'm looking at technology use and I'm doing looking through all the peer reviewed journals and I'm learning about AI, as all people have to do at this point anyway, I'm realizing that all of the terminology is the same thing that I pretty much teach in the nervous system. So in AI, they're going to talk about nodes, and they're going to talk about, they talk about a lot of neural connections. It's the exact same thing. And what you'll find actually is that AI, as is everything pretty much in the world, is modeled off of biology and nature. AI is very much so modeled, in my opinion, it seems very closely related. No, that's not an opinion. It's very closely related to the way that the nervous system, the brain, even like so, what AI computers, all the different computers do.
Like the neural network?
Yeah, the neural network is they connect, and it's the same thing that happens with the nervous system.
Cool. Thank you
Neurons.
for
Yes. All right. So if you guys just want to really quickly um, do, just type in some of the AI prompts. Um, we'll do about 10 minutes and then we'll talk about it. And then I'm going to wrap up uh, with talking about bioenergetics and AI. How are we doing? You guys about ready? Yeah? Okay. So, who wants to start off by sharing? Do we have anybody? Thank you. Thank you. You back.
Sorry. One of the things I'm notoriously bad at is putting too many things on my to-do list. So I've been trying to get better at that. So the time boxing was really interesting to me. And as I was chatting, one of the things that it was saying to do is to build out a daily agenda and then use that daily agenda to kind of manage my day to see what I'm actually doing.
Yes. And Google, I don't know if you use Google Calendars, but I mean, I have a little like resource I can give you.
Oh,
In
that'd be
fact, I'll
excellent.
just give it to you now about time blocking with Google Calendars.
Perfect. That'd be
Yes.
great.
Excellent. Thank you for
Oh, thank you.
sharing. Time blocking with Google Calendars. There you go.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Anybody else want to share? Yeah.
Mine was procrastination.
Mhm.
Whenever I have like a problem that I feel like I'm at a roadblock at, I'll tell myself, okay, I'm gonna take a little break, and that break turns into more time.
Mhm.
Or on the flip side, if I have a task in front of me that I know I can get done really quick, I just kind of put it off
Mhm.
because it can get done so fast.
Mhm.
So one of the things that I use ChatGPT, and one of the things it told me for a technique to overcome procrastination was a 2 minute rule with a
Mhm.
twist. Tell yourself, I'll just do 2 minutes of this and use a timer. And also obstacle planning. So writing down what's most, or asking ChatGPT what's most likely to block me today, and if that happens, what's a small step I can take.
Mhm. So, what type of, say, for example, if there's like something that can block you, what are some ways that you would navigate challenges and blockages in your schedule?
Um, I guess just planning ahead, like telling
Mhm.
myself if I'm blocked by this, maybe avoid what leads me to start procrastinating,
Mhm.
and instead of doing that, maybe trying to find a solution. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like use the internet.
AI.
Yeah, go to AI directly, ask for a solution instead of just taking a break completely from the work.
Right. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else? One last one. Oh, hey.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Thank you.
I also did procrastination, so I kind of wanted to piggyback off this gentleman.
Mhm.
So one that I thought was the most relevant for me was my issue I feel with procrastination is that I'm very active. So I find it really challenging to focus on one thing for long periods of time. I like to
Mhm.
do a little bit of everything at once, keeps my mind engaged. I think it's also that dopamine.
Mhm.
And so I like the suggestion that ChatGPT gave where it said find an activity or something along your schedule, just do that for 25 minutes
Mhm.
and then take a periodic break.
Mhm.
And I think that'll also kind of double down and attack the um, lack of focus.
Mhm.
I feel also can tie into my issue where
Mhm.
it would train me to be focused on one task at a time and prioritize that. 'Cause I think realistically, a lot of tasks that people prioritize can be done within 25 minutes.
Mhm.
Obviously, depending on your circumstances. But when you attack that task at one time, I
Mhm.
think it would really feel smaller, in the moment than it feels when you're looking at it from a holistic standpoint. So I like that a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that a lot of us struggle with procrastination. I was going to ask you, I was like, are you a Gemini? No, I'm just because they like a lot of diversity, but all of us do. I'm the same way. I like a lot of diversity in my tasks. I'm an air sign, but so what helps for me if I know that I'm like if I just work on this one task all day, I'm gonna get burnt out. I will time block multiple tasks that address my diverse issues or diverse interests. So and all of them are pretty like productive. I would also recommend time blocking if you know that you like to move on to different tasks. Sometimes when you move on, it's hard to get your attention back to what you left. So try to time block in ways that you'll actually complete as much as possible of that task, or time block in a way that there's a reward attached because there's an actual deliverable even in that smaller time block. um, so yeah, excellent. All right, so is there anyone else, or let me check the time? Okay, so we have a couple of more minutes, and so in these last minutes I have a handout and we are going to talk about I don't know if here you go. So this is the conclusion and the last of it. So basically, I'm now going to talk a little bit about bioenergetics and nutrition, energy flow in living systems. Why is that? Again, because the shameless plug in learning something about biology. But also, I actually believe that it has something to do with productivity. So I want to first really quickly just wrap up some of the concepts about generative AI, which we just explored a little bit with ChatGPT. Basically, as we've seen, generative AI is a fascinating branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on creating new content, whether it's text, images, music, or even code, rather than simply analyzing data or following predefined rules. You know, we can actually, we're going to actually, or with AI, you can actually customize your needs and your challenges. So again, generative AI is going to refer to models that can generate original content by learning patterns from vast data sets. And it typically looks at everything from text generation, image generation, and also music. So if you are into that, for example, I would definitely, the music generation I haven't really delved into yet, but that is the new frontier that I'm looking for. So some AI tools, just for future reference, that are helpful. Like for example, if you are a business professional and you're looking at entrepreneurship, management, analysis, marketing, finance experts, things like that. We spoke about AI, Notion AI. That's really good for, like we said, planning and project management. There's also, and all of these have a free version or a free trial. So there's also ClickUp, which is an AI-driven task prioritization and workflow automation. Grammarly, I personally use for like all of my writing content. It's a writing assistant for professional communication. Compose AI automates AI email writing and responses. There's Otter AI, which does meeting transcription. So there's lots under, for example, how to be for like business professionals. If you're looking more so, for example, for school, there are AI apps like Quizlet that produce AI powered flashcards and study guides. Zotero is one that I use very often and is excellent. That's an AI citation management for research projects. Perplexity is another research assistant. And then Hemingway simplifies complex writing for better adaptability. We also, just a few more to give you guys some more tools for your toolbox. When it comes to, for example, software, deep code is helpful. And then personal finance is a really big one with my students. Like I said, Mint, which is an AI powered budgeting and expense tracking app. There's also Clio, which is a financial assistant, and Zogo, which is an AI powered financial literacy app. So those are just some extra tools that I wanted to share with you all really quickly before we finished up with bioenergetics. So why am I talking about energy? Because the theme of my workshop is how to power AI for productivity. So, power has to do with energy. So, when it comes to what is energy, energy is the ability to work and to cause change. So, we can understand how important energy is and harnessing our personal energy because when we do that, we are productive. So, it exists in many different forms. We already spoke about kinetic and potential energy. Chemical energy is what we're going to more so focus on really quickly as we wrap up, and you'll see why. So when we're talking about chemical energy is found in it batteries, for example. So it's where stored chemical reactions will produce things such as electricity. And it's released when you burn different, for example, when you burn fossil fuels, that produces chemical energy. So when it comes to, again, let me make sure. So, when it comes to bioenergetics, of course, that is the study of energy flowing through living systems. Activation energy initiates reactions, and these are like physics terms. I'm not going to go through all of those, but they're important to me when I think about how I spend my energy because it doesn't matter if you're an atom, if you're a molecule, or if you're an entire organism. Um, there's a total energy that you have and you can run out of it. So we have to pay attention when we're trying to be productive how we manage our energy. So that's why I kind of brought these topics in. So enthalpy represents the total system energy. Endergonic reactions, they require the input of energy. So things that that typically I think of like with endergonic reactions, things that drain, if I'm using it in a sociological way, would be like something that is like draining you because it requires a lot of energy input from you. And then exergonic reactions, even though again these are physics terms, but if I were using it in a sociological context, it would be a reaction that frees energy, right, and or gives you some energy. So we want to focus not only on people and task, but also nutrition that gives us energy. So I just wanted to leave you all with just some biohacks on how to be more productive by providing yourself with some additional energy. Energizing foods that would fuel a biological system. So there's complex carbohydrates that are good at slowly releasing energy from, for example, from oats and bananas. Proteins and healthy fats like eggs are really good. Caffeine and antioxidants. Not really coffee so much, but dark chocolates are really good for you. Green tea is amazing with enhancing focus. If you haven't tried it, please try it today. Yeah, excellent. And then B vitamins and magnesium are really great for converting food into usable cellular energy. So there is the reason I focus on this again is because when I was mentoring a lot of students and they were not successful in their courses, I would ask them, well, what did you do today? Why didn't you turn in this assignment? And he was like, well, I asked him to like give me his entire agenda. Well, I woke up and I took a shower and I went to work. I said, what do you do for work? Oh, well, I'm a landscaper. Okay. And then what time do you get home? I get home around 5. And then what do you do then? Oh, well, then I eat dinner and then I take a shower and then I smoke weed. And I said, none of those things that you're doing after 5 p.m. are going to lead to you being productive after 5 p.m., right? They're all like suppressing your parasympathetic nervous system and causing you to want to go to sleep. And you're not going to get up and do your work, right? So you have to kind of like biohack your life for productivity and be thoughtful about it. So, we already know about, for example, taking a warm shower, we know relaxes us. And of course, we all have to eat dinner, but there's choices that we can make to optimize our energy and our productivity. So you can choose to eat things that are either energy producing or sleep inducing, right? But the key is just to knowing the difference and realizing that there is a difference. So sleep inducing foods are going to promote biological relaxation, and they contain things like melatonin, which produces natural sleep hormones, and that's going to be found in certain foods like cherries and walnuts. Or simple carbs are going to trigger insulin release, promoting sleepiness as well. Tryptophan is an amino acid in turkey and some other foods that produce serotonin. So if all, any of us or many of us have ever been at Thanksgiving, we eat the turkey dinner and then we all get the itis afterwards. And we thought it was just us, but it was also tryptophan. It's not just us, right? And then magnesium, this relaxes muscle and it calms nervous systems. So understanding, what happened there? Oh, was that the last one? Okay, so yeah, understanding what you eat is very effective. And so because of that, I have left you all with the last sheet, which has some healthy recipes like a smoothie to help energize you and some other information. So I hope that you enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Can we give another round of applause for Brittany, please? All right, all right. Well, now I'm going to call up Fahad to the stage, who's another employee here at AUTMHQ, to introduce himself, but also share more information about our volunteer opportunities. Fahad.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Yeah, Fahad Kizito is my name, and I work with AUTMHQ in their IT department. At the same time, I am the volunteer coordinator. When you scan this code, you join us to help the world at all. So what we do is we're looking for volunteers to help in many ways. I am sure all of you here have ever got a mentor as you're growing in your career. So there's so many people who need mentors, the students, and anybody who's looking for a job need to talk to someone in that particular area or some guidance in one way or the other. So if you know you can help or talk to someone and guide them through anything, please scan this code and be part of it. Thank you.
Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers, so I definitely encourage all you all to come and provide value to the ecosystem. Whether you have enough time for an hour, a month, 30 minutes here, trust me, whatever amount of time you can provide, it can be greatly added to the ecosystem for anybody inside that space. So definitely encourage that to you all. So please, feel free to take the scan of the QR code. If you miss it, you can follow us on social, AUTMHQ. We're always promoting our content, promoting our links. You can find everything on our social channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. You can Google us and you'll find us. Trust me, even chat us. We're in there too. Next slide, please. So as a reminder, our next event is on May 21st. So we're doing a social fundraiser at Amy's Ice Cream. I asked this question earlier, so how many people like Amy's Ice Cream? There you go. All right. How many people like AUTMHQ? There it is. Love it, love it. Yeah, so please come out, check us out. And if you can't come in person, share with a friend, right? Bring people out, right? We're all about getting the community out together, so look forward to seeing you there. And then we also have our QR code for our donations. So if you're so inclined, please allow us to continue doing these free events for the community. And like I said, invite someone else to our next event. Even if you can't come, have somebody in your network represent you, represent what you value, what you like to do, because these events are for you all. The more we do them, the merrier. So please, thank you again for coming out. We have about 30 minutes left, so feel free to network. If you have any more food, take the drinks, and please enjoy this time together. Thank you all.